What is up, fellow dorks? Thank you for tuning in to Mana Rant episode 49, a historic podcast. We specialize in everything in the historic format, and that includes historic brawl as well. We are the Mana Dorks. And as you are teleported to a forgotten realm filled with danger and adventure, there is a giant cave troll blocking your path. He is eating a greasy turkey leg, laughing as his big belly shakes, demanding payment before you continue your journey. He states his name is me, Michael Apollo. I am the big fat cave troll eating a turkey leg. But there's more. There's more in this adventure. So next, you wander into the dark depths, past the hive of the Eye Tyrant, and into the lair of the Hydra. Under a tree, you see an elf bard playing his harp. You notice he is staring at you weirdly. He drops a picture of Oko, smiling as he takes off his shirt. We have Hoshi.
What's up, man? Dude, how'd you know I had an Oko picture? I mean, usually it's up on my wall, but I do carry around like little portraits of him too. Dude, he's ripped. He's got them cum gutters, yo. So
yeah, he does. Gross, but all right, so finally in our weird adventure through the Forgotten Realms, after your weird encounter with the elf bard, you decide you needed a drink. So you venture into a local inn and ask the barkeep for his strongest ale. Across the way, you notice a sneaky rogue warlock bobbling his head towards you. Waka waka, how goes it, stranger? The big-headed rogue warlock asks, want to venture into a dungeon with me? Alone? You ask for the big-headed rogue's warlock's name before venturing with him. We have DrunkenDork.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? So actually, I don't think Apollo knew you had that picture, but when I went and visited you in Florida, you were super hammered one night and your wallet fell on the ground, and not only did that single solitary picture of Oko fall out, but there were hand-drawn pictures, really poorly drawn, that you drew showing dong and other things, and it was just really gotta look into your psyche, dude.
Oh man, that's hard. I was drunk every night, so you didn't narrow that down at all. And I mean, it's self-expression. That's what it was. It's not, it's nothing weird, yo. It's just, No,
it's not weird at all, dude.
Okay,
to each their own, man. If you like hoofed men, then is Oko hoofed? I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know. All I see is them cum gutters, yo.
All right. I don't know what that is.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, he is. He is a good-looking Oko, whatever he is.
So good they had to
Well,
ban
aside
him.
from the weird intros, this time it's not pantsless. We just have Hoshi sitting under a tree for some reason, looking at Oko with his shirt off. So, as I stated, we are the Mana Dorks, and this is Mana Rant podcast episode 49. If any time you want to skip ahead and get to the meat and potatoes of the topics tonight, please refer to our main phase 1. Other than that, the way our show works is through the actual phases of Magic. So we have our Untap, Upkeep, Draw, main phase 1, Combat, main phase 2, End Step, Cleanup, and then finally our Discard. But just like you start with every game of Magic, you start with your
Untap.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Untap phase. And that's where we crack open some drinks of our choice and talk about what we're drinking tonight. So, let's untap her up.
Yeah.
I am having... I'm being a bad boy. It's definitely not like IPA or nothing like that, but Michelada. I love
bad
it.
boy.
It's hot.
You're being a bad boy. Ooh, you're
Yeah.
tonight I'm gonna have.
Because
a
I
sip
drink
of
no
alcohol.
carb seltzer water, alcohol. I'm going a little bit higher this week.
Oh wow.
Drunken, what are you drinking?
I got Dead Guy Ale. It's a classic, man. It's some good, fucking cool-looking art on this can. I've always liked it. But yeah, that's what I got. Nothing exciting.
Nice.
then
Hoshi,
this
what are
guy.
you drinking this week? Here
This
we go.
is a strawberry smash, and it is strawberry infused vodka that we made with basil cello. Oh, sorry, it's strawberry basil smash. Yeah, with basil cello, and then a little bit of seltzer on there.
Nice, dude. Well,
Ooh, yeah.
cheers to you all. Cheers, everyone out there watching.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Cheers.
tuning in. Let's continue on with the show. After our Untap is always followed by our...
Upkeep, get ya upkeep.
Yes, get your upkeep, yeah. And that's going to be the Reddit rant. So I'm going to turn it over to Hoshi. He's going to tell us what we're ranting about this week. Take it away.
All right, so Reddit Rant is where we scour the internet for lunatics, and that's pretty easy to do because, MTG is just full of lunatics ranting about anything all the time. With a new set drop this week, I thought we were going to have some really good rants, and there were a couple, but it was a lot of net decking ranting, but I think we found a pretty good one here. So let's take a look at George. All right, so George has something really cringy to say. So for once, it's not bad grammar, though. So that's a nice change to this week's Reddit rant, I guess. So George comes out and says, something I rarely see on this page is a post about gameplay. Wizards is lost. They have become a cliche image of a glutton eating themselves to death. All right, George, you can back off of Poetry 101 right now and just get to the point of whatever you're trying to say in your post. All right, and then he continues with, they have completely destroyed the secondary market by inflating it with the constant printing of sets and secret layer products. They probably have no idea of what the bubble will burst, but what to do, but what do they care? They'll already be converted cardboard into billions of doll hairs. Oh my god, so cute. And then he goes, comrades, be careful how much money you're spending on this game. So finally some solid words, I guess, at the end there, but a bunch of fluffy nonsense about George, their company, they want to make money, right? That's what every company wants to do. They don't care about the secondary market either, because guess what? They're not in charge of the secondary market. That's the one that we're in charge of. So, yeah, they could give two shits about that, right? But what do you guys think about whatever the hell George is talking about here?
I guess I'll start. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Yeah. Does he not understand that, I think by law, Wizards has to not follow the secondary market, you know? I think that's a law, right? It's kind of like insider trading or something, because if they do, then they are potentially gaining more profit, right? Because they're, they know how much the card's going to be worth. So they have to sell everything equally is the way I understand it. When they do these special things like master sets, they're releasing older cards, so they're allowed to sell it at a markup. But I don't think they can't just release a dual land and be like, okay, we're going to charge everyone $300 and destroy the secondary market. I don't think they can. They're actually capable of doing that unless they do some type of special printing or something.
I don't know. We're not lawyers.
Yeah.
Let's get that clear.
I am not. Yeah,
none of us are.
I am definitely not a lawyer. But from what I've read, this is just me reading other articles about people, because I've actually dug into this a little bit before with secret layers, why they print things and why they charge the same price for some things and other things, and basically that's what it came down to.
I wanted to point something else out about this post. He's talking about secondary markets and all this stuff. This is in the Magic the Gathering Arena group. What? There is no secondary market. There's a ton of shit to bitch about how greedy they are in Arena, and he just flew by all of that. He was like, nope, let's talk about cardboard. I'm in the right place, right, guys? Don't worry. I've been reading the thesaurus this week, so I got a bunch of fancy words I'm going to throw out here.
The whole point is the print stuff that people want, right? And the wider the net, the more fish you're going to catch, right? So they're printing stuff that people like. People do like the secret layers and the reprints of sets and stuff like that. The master sets, the remastered sets, the anthologies, whatever. People like it, so they're going to keep doing it. But yes, it is an Arena group chat, and he's still wrong. I'm glad someone else also said it. It's not inflating the secondary market; it's actually bringing it down. That's how I was able to get a lot of cards I wasn't able to get before, like Damnation and stuff like that. When they reprint them, they go down. So, instead of having like 3rd edition whatever card, you get the newer version and it looks nicer and prettier. So,
all right. And we got
inflating.
We got one quick other one here. This one just blew me away. I had to talk about it, and that is through Manuel Encarnacio here. And if you guys
Enrico Saison,
Enrico Saison, it's a cool name. Hey all, I'm planning on making a commander deck with a new alt.
Alta Polony. It's a card.
Yeah, that's themed around eggs. Do you guys have any ideas? Once again, this is on the MTG Arena page, and he's asking commander questions. But wait, it gets way worse, because as we go down here, oh no, this is it's a picture of this dude without a shirt on, and he's holding the commander card that he wants to make, and it is so incredibly cringy to look at that I had to mention it on here. And then Apollo actually had some insight into this post, what it's actually about, the backstory of it. Go ahead, Apollo.
Yeah. So the internet gets pretty stupid. So apparently, right, in one of these Facebook groups, there was a girl who wears elf ears, and she started the post by posting a magic card that was barely visible and saying, can anyone suggest any ideas for this card? You can barely read the card. And other people are like, have you ever heard about EDH Rec? Why are you posting selfies? So you got like a whole bunch of like White Knight posters that are like saving this girl, and other ones who are super angry and furious at this girl for posting a selfie, right? So then the girls in the group, this is so dumb. This is like high school shit, dude. Like, so the girls in the group stood by her, and they started posting selfies of themselves with barely visible cards asking for EDH questions on Arena Facebook groups, by the way. So then people got like really pissed off, right? So then there was a retaliation from the men of the group, and this guy is one of them. So now guys are posting pictures of selfies, apparently shirtless now, with barely visible cards, asking questions about EDH in an Arena forum. And it's been a stupid back and forth that I've been like looking for, like seeing, because I try to help out with the Reddit rant and try to find something. Yeah. And I'm just like, my brain is just bursting. Like I'm getting aneurysms all the time. So.
Well.
Internet.
Well, that was Reddit Rant. If you guys find a rant or shirtless pictures of people that apply to MTG that you want to send us, feel free to, or just send them all to Apollo anyway. So, like any shirtless pictures, I guess. That was it. All right, back to you,
it's pantless, dude. Remember, pantless. We're on a theme here.
Yeah, sorry, pantless.
All right, so after our upkeep, we always gotta
let's draw.
Yeah, let's draw. Draw phase. That's what's magic formats or decks we've been playing this week, or anything that's magic related. So again, let's turn it over to DrunkenDork. What have you been doing this week, or want to talk about this week in the world of Magic?
Okay, so I'm gonna get on my fucking soapbox here, and so this thing came out this last week called Mirror Mirror, and it was really fun. And it was basically play cards that are banned in Historic, and it was a blast because I was playing fun-ass cards that are banned in Historic. And yeah, you saw a lot of the same things, which is fine. Like, it's going to happen, right? There's a reason those cards are banned. But this is where my soapbox comes in. So basically, like 5 months ago, I posted to the MTG Historic Reddit, and I was like, hey, it'd be really fucking cool if they had like, these like an event like every once in a while where they brought in like cards that were banned and like did different things and like added like mana values to them. So basically they had 3 mana Teferi, but they added an extra mana, so it was 4 mana Teferi instead. So like they completely changed the cards up in Mirror Mirror. So basically they did exactly what I said. And the thing about it was, there were absolutely some people who were like, yeah, that would be cool. But there were a ton of people who shit all over me. They're like, you fucking idiot. Like, dude, no, this is the dumbest. Yeah, get good, bro. This is the dumbest. This is the dumbest thing I ever heard. And I actually really like Mirror Mirror. I thought Mirror Mirror was fun. Yeah, it did. Like I said, it did get annoying because you did play some of the decks like over and over. But like, you know what? It's a change up, and it's still like it's historic, which is fun. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. And then of course today I want to talk about this because Rise of the Dark. Is it Rise of the Dark? What's the fucking set that just came out?
It's Adventure into the Forgotten Realms.
Adventure into the Forgotten Realms. That came out today. And I've been playing it today. I played a sealed event. I fucking bombed. I think I won 4 games, and then I just lost 3 in a row. It's just like boom, boom, boom. And the last one I lost it because I conceded. I know the guy was happy about this. I conceded before we even started because my first hand I had 2 lands. I had a 3-color deck, and there's not a lot of mana fixing in the set for sealed. I had 2 lands, and they were both like mountains, and I had nothing but black and white cards in my hand. I was like, okay, so mulligan. Second hand, I had 3 mountains and nothing but black cards in my hand. I was like, okay, mulligan. And then the third mulligan that I did, it was the same exact thing. I was like, okay, concede. Like fuck it, I'm not gonna do it at this point. And that was
Arena
my
wants
last.
you to have that.
Was my
hand.
last loss.
It was like
apparently,
you will
yeah,
have this
it was
hand.
wild. I kept getting the same cards too. That's what was so crazy. Is like every game I won, like I'd get the same fucking cards in my starting hand. Like it's really bizarre. I don't understand the algorithm that they have, but
I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely maybe it was just like it just happened to be that, but I really think there's something going. There's something fishy here.
Yeah.
Or they're just dumb. They don't even know what their algorithm
get to
is,
the
dude.
bottom of
WotC
it.
is just.
They got the interns on this shit.
No.
Yeah, again, I want to quickly mention before we move over to Hoshi. Actually, if I remember correctly, a few episodes back, like actually quite a bit of episodes back, you actually mentioned that. I'm pretty sure, Hosh, that you said that if 3 fairy was like 1 mana more, then it could be at least like an acceptably played a fair card.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that they did that for Mirror Mirror. That's pretty cool.
Maybe they're listening.
Jacavi also says, wait, we can play best of 1 draft in a Forgotten Realms? Yeah, right. You can definitely do it. So
All
wait,
day,
draft
baby.
or sealed? Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
but either way, you can tear it up.
Nice.
As long as you got the coin or gems.
I
So
got
Hoshi,
a lot.
what about you? What have you been doing?
So not much. I've been playing my Harmless Offerings deck this last week, which I've just been absolutely killing with. I tried S'mores and Bacon on our Discord. Comes up with a lot of cool decks all the time, and I try them out every once in a while. I like most of them. The one I tried a Rakdos discard deck, and I got absolutely murdered with it. I went like 12-0 with it, and then I asked him. I was like, I'm getting destroyed with this deck. He's like, oh, that's not a best of 1 deck. He's like, I think it's unplayable in best of 1. I'm like, confirmed. Yes, it is. I mean, it's generally not my style of deck. I play a lot of like shenanigans, nonsense. Sometimes I play straightforward stuff, but I don't really play discard that much. So I got absolutely annihilated with that. And then I switched over to my Harmless Offerings deck because I had the feel bads. And then I went like 10-1 or something with Harmless Offerings, which is crazy because my win condition is giving people either 9 lives or Demonic Pact. I just was getting it off every single game, or they were conceding when 9 lives went down, so it was great. And then today the new set came out with, I know it's amazing. I am the master of 9 lives.
Dude,
9 Lives variety show, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like how many I feel like someone should go through and count how many times you have said 9 lives or Harmless Offering, dude.
It's amazing.
You should get a fucking counter, dude.
I know. It's a tricky deck to play, but I've mastered it. I am the master of Harmless Offerings. Stupid kitty card. Anyways, so I played Forgotten Realms today, and I made a green Stompy deck and I made a Gruul deck. and it's going to be with some of the cards that we talk about in the next phase. And it was great. I was killing it with Stompy. Gruul felt really strong and powerful and cool and like has new tricks to it, and I really enjoyed it so far. And I've got a whole bunch of other decks that I plan on brewing with these new cards too. So, Paulo, what about you?
Yeah, just getting ready to drop some coinage on the new set. Super excited to start brewing and see how this meta shapes and develop, so I can see how competitive this is going to be. Also, just following our Discord, which you all should join, because again, we're all like, it's like a fun little community. Someone that we've mentioned before, he like posts a lot of deck lists, really cool ideas.
Yeah.
You know, so like this blue-black artifact deck that he has been kind of like, you know, playing with. There's a couple cards in there that Forgotten Realms has that I'm excited to use. So
yeah,
that's pretty much it. It's just more like that, back to the theory craft, back to the deck building process. So
Yeah.
that will do it for. No, go on.
So I was gonna say, are there? You know, I know Hoshi just said he was playing around with some stuff. Are there any like specific like archetypes that you guys are trying to go after? Archetypes that you two are trying to go after?
Yeah, I mean, with my lockout thing, there's a really cool combo with I can't think of the card's name right now, but
don't
it's
say
like,
9 lice, bro. Don't say it.
It's 3 white, you know. It's a lockout card where it's like the Platinum Angel basically, but you Paul talked about
that card's dope.
Yeah, where you put it on you put it on Faceless Haven, so you make Faceless Haven a creature, and then you put that counter on Faceless Haven, and then like you can't lose the game unless they destroy that land. So I wanna brew a lockout around that, because I love lockout. I love making my opponents feel hopeless, but yet they are still in the game, you know.
That's going to be a great addition to your prison deck, dude.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because unless they have land destruction, there's nothing they can do.
Yeah, it seems really cool.
Unless you're dumb enough to attack with it. No, why? Why would you? Just keep it there.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
What's
attacking? For me, it's more like strengthening the core that's already there. So I want to see how Rogues is. I want to see how Enchantments are. I want to see how Humans is. I want to see how Rogues are. Gruul is definitely something I want to like work with. I'm really excited about a card that we're going to talk about later on in the episode, but it's like part of the new class cards, the enchantments that we're getting in this set. So yeah, that's pretty much like where I'm going to go. And then there's other like some cool cards that like Mono White Weenies. Some really cool cards that White got, and it's like specifically White's drawing cards now. So they're finally addressing some issues with White.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm like looking forward to brewing. What about you? Is there anything else that you're like thinking of building?
So absolutely. That green-red thing enchantment that you're going to talk about, I'm like totally making a build around deck that builds around that. I fucking love that thing. It seems so powerful and very janky at the same time. But I think we have enough pieces in our in Historic that it could be pretty good. And then also Rogues. Yeah, that's my other one. Because I'm just a big piece of shit and I love Rogues.
Yeah, you are.
No, Rogues is tight. All right, so that is our draw phase. Next, we go into our main phase one. Main phase one. All right, main topic of the evening. So we have some cards. We wanted to talk about them last week, but our episode went a tad bit long because there's a lot going on. It's a brand new set, and usually the way our episodes work, new sets tend to go on a little longer. It's a lot of information. Okay, cool. So we got Werewolf Pack Leader from DrunkenDork. That was one of his picks. So we're going to go ahead and throw it up on screen. Drunken, did you want to go ahead and read over the card?
So we all went through and we picked our 5 favorite cards, and we didn't have any overlap. So this doesn't necessarily mean that this isn't one of Apollo or Hoshi's favorite cards too, because I'm sure it is. This is, I think, a lot of people's one of their favorite cards out of the set. And so Werewolf Pack Leader, if you're only listening and you haven't read the card, it has pack tactics. Whenever Werewolf Pack Leader attacks, if you attacked with creatures with total power 6 or greater, this combat, draw a card. And then it also says 3 and a green. Until end of turn, Werewolf Pack Leader has base power and toughness 5/3, gains trample, and isn't a human. So basically becomes just a straight ass werewolf, which is dope. Yeah. I think this card, it just seems really powerful to me. Like in Gruul Shell, I think this seems strong because right now we have that green-red satyr. I forget what the fuck it's called, but that is your card draw engine in that deck. It is that pretty much. And this basically does the same thing. You are in Gruul, like turn 3, absolutely attacking in with 6 power, like almost all the time. Unless they're removing everything, you're always attacking in with 6 power. And Gruul has incredibly good mana fixing, so I just think this card is a powerhouse in a Gruul deck, or maybe even like a Green Stompy deck. I don't know. I always want Green Stompy to be something, but it never is because unfortunately, it's just a big pile of garbage. But what do you guys think of this card?
Well, I absolutely love it. I agree with you with Gruul and Mono Green Stompy, and I mean 2/2, a 3/3 for 2. That's a great bear right there. That's a good bear. So I love it. It has a mana sink. Well, I mean, not necessarily a mana sink, but it's not like a tap ability. It's relatively easy to get the 4 and build up its base power and toughness. And then, the fact that it has card draw on a stick, really cool. It works. Your creatures are going to be big, so this is going to trigger in that right shell. So, yeah, completely dig it. Love the card. It's amazing. What about you, Hoshi?
I'll tell you right now, I love it, and I already threw it in both my decks that I made today. I cracked 4 of them luckily today, so I was like, perfect, right? I threw it in Green Stompy.
Oh, nice.
It performed really well in Green Stompy, and then I threw it into the Gruul deck, and it's great in Gruul because Gruul has a lot of low to the ground power. The problem that I realized with it in Gruul is that it's double green, which is a little awkward in Gruul, especially when you're trying to get it in the early game. So sometimes, with the Burning Tree and stuff, it just doesn't land perfectly in that deck all the time. But when you get it in there, it's great because you get that card draw, and it's not legendary, so you can have a couple of these down, and they each individually trigger on pack tactics too. So if you have 2 of these guys down and you're swinging, boom, boom, you draw 2 cards off of it, and that felt nice. A lot of people conceded once I was attacking with this. They were like, oh, the value on this deck and how much damage it's doing already, they could see like it's over. So yeah, I really like it.
Absolutely.
Dig it, dude. All right, so Hoshi's first pick is going to be, why don't you just take it away and tell us what your first pick is.
All right, so I have Ranger class, and this is another one that I threw into both of my decks today. I saw this class at first, and I was like, it seems okay. And then the more I looked at it, the more it started to grow on me. And I think that this is a super solid card for Gruul specifically and for Green Stompy in a lot of ways. So let me read the card. Ranger class. It is 1 and a green. And when Ranger class enters the battlefield, you get a 2/2 green wolf creature token. So immediately you're at least getting a creature with this card too. Okay. Then level 2 is 2 to level up, so it's another colorless and a green to level up. And then this is whenever you attack, put a 1/1 counter on target attacking creature. Okay, so you get a counter whenever you attack with stuff. On both of these decks, you want to be attacking, so your stuff's getting bigger every time you attack. Pretty good. And then the last one is great because this is where in the late game this is perfect, which is level 3, and it is 3 and a green for this. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. Only your opponent doesn't see it, and you may cast creatures from the top of your library, which is basically card draw. So in a Gruul or Stompy deck, when you're running out of card draw, this is amazing right off the top of the deck. So this helps you power through if you're going against control or something, to really get you through there. And it's performed amazing in the games that I've been playing with it so far. A lot of people conceded right when I leveled it up to 2 and started putting counters on my stuff. I never got it to, I got it to 4 one time, but the guy conceded the second I leveled it up to 4. So I really like this card. And the thing is, you can have multiple of these classes at the same time. So I had 3 of these out one time, and I leveled up 2 of them. So I was getting double counters every time I attacked. Yeah, it's really strong. At least I felt. What do you guys think?
I completely love it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I have a question. Like,
sure.
Now that you just said that, you can just stay on the level you don't have to like level up, right? Like,
No.
so you can just keep putting +1/+1 counters until that level 3 is viable for you until you actually need it. So
Yeah.
something a little bit different than sagas are. So that's something I really like about this class. And I think, this is a good fit for what you just said, Mono Green, Stompy, and Gruul. So yeah, super love the card.
Well, let me make this clear too. When you level up to level 3, you still get the level 2 abilities as well. So everything before like still exists, right? It's like leveling up your your character on a video game, right? Like, so you still have your level 2 abilities, you still get those counters, but then when you get up to 3, then you can look at the top ones too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really strong.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Drunken, what do you think?
Drunken, what about you?
I was gonna, because we haven't talked about it yet, I was just gonna briefly say, so this is a mechanic we didn't cover last week. It's the class mechanic, and it's basically only on these enchantments that are throughout the set, and I really like this one. I think it's really good because it's a 2/2 for 2, which is actually just mediocre. So at worst case, you get something out of it, which is what makes it nice. Like, there is something that is there. Like, it's not a static ability that like could potentially help you. It immediately produces something.
Yep.
So that's what I like about this. And then 1 and a green is a good mana sink, I think. Just put that in, like maybe turn 3, you didn't get a third land. So now you just have your 2/2 and a 1/1 maybe. And so now you just swing in and you have, you put a +1/+1 counter on something. So I think this is great. And then obviously, being able to play shit off the top of your deck, if you're going late in the game and it isn't removed is always good. If everything else is removed and this is still there, if you're playing control, maybe they don't have like an exile, an enchantment type spell. It does work. It's an extra card in your hand potentially. I like it a lot. Good pick.
Sweet. All right, let's pass it to you, Apollo.
Okay, so the card that I chose, it's kind of like a pseudo card from Commander, or at least played in Commander, Knight of the White Orchid. This reminded me of that instantly, and I think it's a good addition for whites. It's Loyal Warhound for 1 colorless and a white for a creature dog, a 3/1 with Vigilance. And then when it enters the battlefield, and if an opponent controls more lands than you, search your library for a basic plains, put it on the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. This is something that white desperately needed. White needs card draw. We have not seen like an iteration of white weenies in a long time. So the fact that it's like a 3/1 with Vigilance as well, like it's a good attacker and a blocker in the early games. So play this down, catch up on the lands. You can play with a minimum land count and then always stay on curve to be able to cast that, future a Johnny or whatever have you on the top end, Elspeth or whatever. So that's what I picked. What do you guys think about it?
I mean, it's
Go for it.
Obviously, ramp in white is insane. But it still has that white, clause to it where your opponents have to have more lands for you than you for this to work, right? Which is one of the always things like land, tax, and all those other things. It's the same way, right? If your opponent has more lands, then you can search your library for stuff. But this puts it directly into the battlefield, which is really nice because you can just hold on to your land drops so that your opponent has more or something, to get this off. And it's a 3/1 body. It's a dog. Maybe this goes in the dog deck really well with that like pack leader that makes it so when you attack, right, like combat damage doesn't affect them. And with the vigilance with this guy, that can make it really nice. Maybe make a doggy deck. We'll see if dogs can be there yet. That'd be nice. Maybe in standard. I don't know about in historic. It's probably not strong enough. But Hoof.
I personally, for historic, I'm not a huge fan of it at all, but I want you to prove me wrong. I want you to play against me with this card and be like, you stupid bitch, you said this card was bad. And I'll be like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that happens to you a lot.
So I hope it does good, right?
Yeah.
Like I always want our picks to be good picks.
Right, cool.
But yeah.
All right,
At the very least, it's just like a good utility for an archetype that we haven't seen in a while. But let's go ahead and swing it back. Next card we have, I'm pretty sure this is from you, Drunken. So why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Yeah, it's going to be Demi-Lich, and So Demi-Lich is a sweet card. I actually, I said I was like really messing around with those 2 decks, but I did build a Demi-Lich deck just because I feel like they're really easy to build. Like, it's basically like a fucking Phoenix deck, but then you just add Demi-Lich in it. It's got a plethora of good cards like Brainstorm and Faithless Looting and Opt and fucking whatever that Dreadhorde Arcanist, like just shit like that. You're constantly casting spells and recasting them, and Demi-Lich just comes in clutch. And I definitely cast Demi-Lich out of my graveyard. Like, that's what I like about it with cards like I guess I should read the card. It's blue, 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 blue for a creature skeleton wizard. And it's at Mythic, and it says this spell costs blue less to cast for each instant and sorcery spell you've cast this turn. And it also says whenever Demi-Lich attacks, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard, copy it, you may cast the copy. And then it says you may cast Demi-Lich from your graveyard by exiling 4 instant and or sorcery cards from your graveyard in addition to paying its other costs. So yeah, this card's insane. I definitely like discarded it with Faithless Looting, and then I cast it on like turn 3 or something. I don't even know, man. Like, no, it was on turn 4, but it was in my graveyard. Like, that was the thing. And it's like I cast 4 spells, and then I fucking cast this out of my graveyard. Like, it was crazy. It's a great card. I really like it. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot of this because we already see a lot of blue-red, like dominantly, I think, especially in Best of 1. So I think this is just going to fit into one of those decks.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, this is definitely going to fit in like Spell Slingers and Storm. This is just what this is just saying right on the text. So super dig it. They're strengthening up the archetype even more. And we got some cool, sweet tech to work along with it.
Great.
So, what about you, Hosh?
I think this is the blue version of Texting Beast. When I saw this card, I was like, I don't want to read all that. and so now it is. I think this is going to be a strong historic card for sure. This is going to be played. But yeah. All right, let's move on.
I will say though, I think, man, if we fucking had Manamorphose, I love that card. I loved it in Modern. It's an incredibly good card. If we had something like that, this would just be broken. Like
GG.
Yeah. You would get it out on like turn 2, and it would be amazing.
Yeah. All right. So next we got one from Hoshi. So take it away. What's your next pick?
All right. Guardian of Faith is 1 white and 1 colorless, 2 white. For a creature spirit knight at rare, it has flash, it has vigilance, and when Guardian of Faith enters the battlefield, any number of other target creatures you control phase out. And it is a 3/2. So this thing I think is really cool. Having flash on a creature is always sweet. It has vigilance, which isn't super relevant. It's a spirit and a knight, which I think is relevant. And it phases out all your other creatures, which is great board wipe protection. It's great protection for a lot of stuff, I think. I mean, if you are facing down a mean attack, you can use this defensively to block everything and then flash him in and phase your stuff out. You can use it against board wipes, right? There's a whole bunch of situations where you can use this guy. And I really like it. I think it's cool. I think it'll fit into a knight deck or possibly a spirit deck very well. So I'm pretty excited about this card. Hoof, you don't look, or Drunken, you don't look super excited. What do you think?
No, I do like this card.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about a knight deck because knight decks suck. But I will say a spirit deck though, like I can see that becoming viable as they introduce older sets or potentially introduce older sets.
Yeah. Spirits are strong
because that is something in Modern. There are modern spirits. I can see it happening in Historic, and I like this a lot. Yeah, the utility of it is really good. Saves your ass on a board wipe, and I love that. Saves your ass in other situations too, and I love it. So I think it's a good pick.
Thanks.
Yeah, or Resolve Aristocrats. If we get something like Modern where it's like Abzan Spirits or Abzan mid range, totally see it. Super dig it. Yeah, it's a great card, and its ability is amazing. And dodging board wipes is a big key there. So
and the art
really
is
good pick.
Sweet too.
Yeah. All right, so my next pick is going to be Limerith, Desert Doom. 3 colorless, 2 blue for a legendary creature dragon at Mythic Rare. It is a 5/5 with flying. Limerith Desert Doom has ward 4 as long as it's untapped. Whenever Limerith deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Then if you have fewer than 3 cards in hand, draw cards equal to the difference. What's it called? Azorius Control Beater? Yeah. Fucking love it. They don't care how expensive things are, and this is actually relatively cheap for how the usual end beaters for control is. And the fact that it has protection on itself, it's not hexproof, but it's a pseudo hexproof with ward 4. And then you're doing something that control struggles with. When it dumps its entire hand out, it needs to maintain card draw, and this is a way for it to do that. Getting the cards back in the difference equal to or fewer than 3, that's amazing, dude. Like, that's so good, I think. So yeah, it's gonna be a great beater. It actually might speed up the control game. So Hoshi, what do you think?
I mean, I love dragons. This is a very cool dragon. It being in control is like a one-off or something. The thing that sucks is that it loses ward 4 when it's untapped, which sucks. If there was a way to give it vigilance, that'd be really cool. But yeah, I mean, being able to draw 3 cards off one attack is, pretty strong. And you regardless draw a card, whether you do or not. So yeah, I think it's strong. What do you think, Drunken?
When I first saw this card, I was like, oh man, yeah, definitely control finisher. I like it a lot. But then I read it again afterwards, and I was like, oh wait, it only has ward 4 when it's untapped. Yeah. Which I think is potentially, it can be very devastating depending on who you're playing against. If you have all the counters in the world and like this is your finisher and you're just trying to end the game and counter all their shit, then it's great. But I don't know. I am like a 50-50 on this. Like, I want it to be good and a finisher, but I don't think it's going to be good enough for Historic. I think it's going to be a bomb in Standard, though. I think this is going to be a huge bomb in Standard.
Cool.
Faux show. All right, next one. We got another dragon. Drunken, I believe that's yours. Take it away.
Absolutely. I fucking love this card. Even Death Draco Lich even has a dope ass fucking name, like a definitely very D&D. So it is 2 black for a legendary creature zombie dragon at Mythic. It has flying and it says Even Death Draco Lich enters the battlefield tapped. Oh man, what? But that's not it. It says you may cast Even Death Draco Lich from your graveyard if a creature not named Even Death Draco Lich died this turn, and it is a 5/2. So it is 5 power for 4 mana. You can recur it out of your graveyard, which is always really good in Magic. At 4 mana, I think it's definitely doable. So I think like in a graveyard deck where you're milling yourself out and you're milling this into your graveyard, those decks can be kind of rampy. So I think this will work really good in something like that. Those are definitely like tier 2 decks for sure. And I don't think this is going to bring it to tier 1. It's going to still stay at tier 2, but it's going to be really fun to do this, to use this ability. Plus, I think it might be really good just in like a mono black shell, because like if it's a more aggro, this is your top end. I think it'll work. I think it'll work really good. Like once they wipe the board, you cast it again. It's I don't know. It's fun stuff, man. What do you guys think? It has flash too. Which is I don't know if I said that, but yeah, that's also very relevant.
Yeah, I think that's one of the strongest parts about it is that it has flash, and it's whenever a creature dies, basically, that's not his name. So that counts for opponent's creatures too. And in a mono black shell, you could do something like kill an opponent's creature on their turn and then flash him back in if you have the mana to do both of those things. So I think that's exactly where this belongs, is either in a Dimir or in a mono black deck. But yeah, Paula, what about you?
Dimir control as its top end, for sure. Mono black control as its top end, for sure. Mono black aggro as its fucking top end. And mono black discard. This fits in a lot of decks.
Maybe
it's a really great dragon.
Maybe Rack does too, because you can you can just throw it into your graveyard pretty easy and then get it back later.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. This slots into a lot of different unique archetypes for sure.
All right.
Really good pick. Hoshi, what's yours?
All right, so this is Oswald Fiddlebender. He is a colorless and a white for a legendary creature gnome artificer at rare, and he's a 2/2, and he has magical tinkering, which is a white, and you tap him. Sacrifice an artifact, search your library for an artifact card with mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrificed artifact's mana value. Put it into the battlefield, then shuffle. Activate only as a sorcery. So this is a food chain slash what's the elf ooze or elf? I think it was ooze. Check that taps and you can sacrifice a creature. Yeah, Vanifar. Yeah,
there you go.
So yeah, it's something like that, but for artifacts, and which is cool because I don't think we've had like something like this for artifacts. I think that this could go really coolly into a Azorius artifact deck where you're sacrificing certain artifacts that want to be sacrificed, like that 2-drop where when you sacrifice it, you draw a card 2, and then you grab something with 3. And then combined with Emery, Lurker of the Loch, where you can pull those things back that you're sacrificing with him. I think it could be really cool. It might be a little janky, but I think it'd be a super fun deck, at least. Drunken, what do you think?
Yeah, so Lefty said Mono White Birthing Pod, and I think Birthing Pod was the card you were looking for when you were calling it out, but yeah.
Yeah, I said Food Chain. Yeah, Birthing Pod, exactly.
Absolutely, I think this card is fucking dope. And as we reach further back and we get more artifacts and more things in Historic, I think this card is going to eventually become a powerhouse. I have no idea what the potential is in other formats, but I think in Historic right now, I honestly have no idea.
Yeah.
Like this ability is powerful for sure. And I like it, and what I like about it is it's artifacts, so it could be creature artifacts, or it could just basic-ass artifacts, so it's pretty broad, right?
Yeah.
And we do have those construct artifacts, those big fucking hulks, or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called. And, like, those work with this, so you could potentially, like, get one of those out of your deck, and I really like it a lot. I think this is a sweet ass card, one of my favorites out of the entire set.
Absolutely. Apollo.
Absolutely. Yeah. Birthing Pod, enough said. I played it in Modern before it got banned. It was one of my absolute favorite cards, my favorite styles of play, and we got it in white with artifacts. How fucking cool, dude.
Yeah.
So super excited to see what you can do with this. There's a lot of powerful artifacts at the mana cost of 3 and 4. So really interesting to see what you can do with like Icor Wellspring, getting out something for 3, getting rid of the 3 mana rocks, getting the crazy ones that cost 4, right? Like you can get into this chain and create a near impossible interaction for your opponent board state, right? Like you're going to make like such a tough board state for your opponent and possibly just get them to concede because it's just too overwhelming.
Paradox Engine, right? I think this will go,
there it is.
Right? The 5-drop Paradox
Of course
Engine.
you go there. Of course you go to Paradox Engine. That is such a fucking Hoshi
Paradox
thing to
Engine
say.
is Paradox Engine good. All right.
Hoshi's going to find a spell that turns all cards into artifacts and then put 9 lives in.
I don't think Mycosynth Ladder is in Historic yet, but someday. All right, let's move on. Let's go to Flames.
All right, next we have my pick, Flame Skull. 1 colorless, 2 red for a creature skeleton at Mythic Rare, 3/1 flying. Flame Skull can't block. Has Rejuvenation. When Flame Skull dies, exile it. If you do, exile the top card. Oh God, you put that one up.
That's pretty good.
Nice. Exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play one of those cards. If you cast Flame Skull this way, you can't play the other card, and vice versa. So what's really cool about this, This is what red wants to do. Chandra does cards like this, does effects like this. I mean, you see cards like this where you're exiling, you're just digging through, and you're just trying to find the answer. And if you don't find the answer, you don't need the land or whatever, you get Flame Skull again. So a really cool card, a really unique way of recursion and pseudo card draw, or at least seeing one deeper. Something I really like. Whether this can go in Gruul, I'm not sure, but there's been like some new iterations of mono red, not necessarily mono red burn, but more like mono red mid-range, using a lot of like Chandra and stuff. So really interested to see like what people do with this card. Drunken, what about you?
I fucking love this card. I think it's good, and we're going to see it constantly. It is a sweet-ass card. When I was making my deck earlier today, I played against this card. I was like, why the fuck did I put this in? I completely forgot it existed, you know? And I don't know why, because this card is really good, you know? The recursion on it is incredible, because, like, it dies, you exile it, and the top card of your library, and you're like, which one do I want? Do I want to hit him in the face for 5, you know, like with a fucking... I don't know, with a spell, or do I want to put my Flame Skull back out? You know, it's really, really good. I really like it. I can't speak higher of it. I definitely think we're going to be seeing this. I actually do think in mono red burn, it's gonna be the top end. I think in a mono red burn deck, because I mean, there are 3 mana cards, but I think this will work really well in that.
And options are always good, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
Hoshi, what do you think?
I think it's more like you said, that mid-range deck, like the mono red mid-range with like the Chandras and stuff. I think this fits really well in there, where you're like trying to wipe the board, because who cares if you wipe the board with this thing, right? It's got the recursion and come back. I don't know about burn and all those other ones. Well, I guess we'll see. But that I don't play burn anyway, so, or mono red mid-range, so just my thoughts.
Yeah, so the overarching theme here is that there's a lot of cool cards. They're like they're branching off into these archetypes that, you know, like I hope we see more of, like that mono red mid range. And here's another card that's really interesting. So DrunkenDork, take it away. What's this one?
Okay, so my next card is going to be Grim Wanderer, I believe, and it is 1 in a black for a creature goblin warlock that has flash. And it has a tragic backstory. Cast a spell only if a creature died this turn. No, that doesn't sound good. But hold on. It's a fucking 5/3. What? It's a 5/3 for 1 in a black. This, I think, potentially might be the best card in the set for Historic. Specifically, I think this card is fucking amazing. It goes really, really well in quite a few different decks, I think. You know, obviously almost anything with black, unless you're doing control, because there's always removal. I love this card. What do you all think?
Yeah, I think it's.
I think it just goes good in black X removal, like you just said. Black X removal, mono black aggro, you know, mono black control, Dimir control, any kind of mid range utilizing black, whether it be Jund or Rakdos. Like if you have removal, this goes in there. It's a perfect 2-slot. Like you're gonna get this off, you know. You do a spell, like a 1-mana kill spell, and you're casting this on turn 3, like consecutively. So yeah, what about you, Hoshi?
I think you don't even need to be in a kill spell heavy deck to use this, because if your stuff dies too, right, you can cast it. So I mean, you're waiting for your stuff to die maybe at that point, but I don't think it needs to be just super control heavy to play this card. I think you could play it like in a Gutter Bones and all that kind of deck, where you know you're having your creatures die all the time. Maybe like a sack dose type deck would like this thing too, to be able to pull it out. I'm surprised I didn't see it at all today. I ran against a lot of mono black, and it's a 5/3 for 2, which is insane. It's a goblin. Which I mean, I don't get that.
Yeah, that was weird. I actually think it would work really good in a rogue shell, even though it's not a rogue.
No, it's a goblin.
I think like you're constantly losing things in rogue decks, so I think that this card would actually fit in really well, because in rogues you're flashing things in, kind of, right? Like that's what you're doing. You're playing cards on other people's turns, and yeah, I like it. And the art's fucking dope, dude. This guy just busting through the door.
Doesn't look like a goblin,
who's gonna fucking die?
Yeah, right?
No, not at all. It looks like a rogue.
Yeah, weird. All right.
All right, Hosh, you got the next one?
Yeah. Zariel, Archduke of Arvernus or Anus or whatever. So it is it's 2 and it's 2 colorless and 2 red for a legendary planeswalker, Zariel. And its +1 is creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until the end of turn. Its 0 ability is create a 1/1 red devil creature token with whenever this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. And its -6 is you get an emblem with at the end of the first combat phase on your turn, untap target creature you control. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase, and it comes in with 4 loyalty. Now, I haven't seen anyone play this or talk about it. I think that this is going to work really well in the Boros tokens deck because it makes tokens. And then you can give all of those tokens +1/+1 in haste near the end. And so it's not a creature, right? So you can still pull out the Praetor, Elishnorn with this thing, having this in the deck. I think it's a good top end in that kind of deck. What do you think, Drunken?
So I'm gonna give you a shit sandwich.
Okay.
So I think it's the best planeswalker out of all the planeswalkers in the sets. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I don't think there's another contender. I don't think it's good enough for historic. I hope, once again, like I said to Apollo, I hope I'm wrong. I want this to be good. It's just 4 mana is a lot. It's pretty taxing for something that doesn't do a whole lot when it lands on the board. It has potential to do a whole lot, but you need the cards to be there for this to do a lot. It does make a 1/1, which is nice to protect itself. But I don't know. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Once again, I want to be proven wrong.
If this does work, it would be, I think, in the mono red mid range. If that deck it becomes a thing, and this is something it can see. But then again, I wonder how many copies it would want, because the Chandras I still think are better, but maybe as a one of. But where I do see this shining is Historic Brawl, for sure. Using mono red, good stuff, I guess. And Historic Brawl, that's where this guy shines for show. Using Devils and Hell Rider, stuff like that, where you can trigger the 1 damage and get kind of like a red aristocrat kind of strategy where you're doing pings and then you're getting the +1/+0. That is relevant in that style of gameplay, and that's something you can for sure achieve in Historic Brawl. But yeah, that's where I see it for sure.
Yeah, I was just thinking mainly the Raise the Alarm deck where you're casting a bunch of tokens early, right? And then I have other planeswalkers that also make tokens, like Elspeth and all those other ones that they also make tokens as well. And then this comes in at 4, gives all those tokens haste, because if the planeswalker makes a token that doesn't have haste, right, this gives it +1 and haste. And this could be devastating, I think, in that deck specifically. I don't know about any of the other stuff that you guys were talking about, but I think this will be really good in that kind of deck. And yeah, once again, it's on my back burner of decks to make. So, all right, let's move on. And Apollo, you are up next.
Cool. Sorry, it had a little sample go off. I'm not sure why that went off on my end, but whatever. We're moving on. Next card, and we're gonna kind of speed through this because we are going along. So we have Volo, Guide to Monsters, 2 colorless, green and a blue for a legendary creature, human wizard. At rare, it is a 3/2. This is a really cool effect. Whenever you cast a creature spell that doesn't share a creature type with a creature you control or a creature card in your graveyard, copy that spell. Oh man, so fun, so flavorful. I see this for sure in Historic Brawl, and I am definitely going to be building some janky Simic jank in regular best of 3 Historic. But I don't know. We'll see. Hoshi, what about you? What do you think about this card?
It's crazy. I mean, yeah, in Historic Brawl for sure. 4 is a lot for normal. Historic for a 3/2, but in Brawl this is going to be super super fun if it doesn't get banned. This is like a really good commander. It's because it's that one flash companion that they had where it was pretty much only it was usable in every Brawl deck. So I don't maybe I'm wrong on that, but Drunken.
Apollo, you just make bad pick after bad pick, dude. I don't know what to say, bro. No, I'm kidding. This card's insane. Like the text on it's crazy.
Yeah.
If you can get it to work, it's going to be insane. The problem is getting it to work. It's the same thing I said about the Planeswalker. I think like you have to cast it, and then you have like instead of the Planeswalker where you had to have things on the battlefield, this thing you have to be able to cast something after. Otherwise, it's useless, and it's 4 mana. I think it has high potential in Brawl. I think it has low potential in Historic. But I love the card. I think the card's fucking sweet.
Oh yeah, it's jank and Historic for sure. Like it's gonna be silly, but yeah. Let's finish it off. Drunken, you got the next card.
Okay, so my last one is going to be Krydle of Baldur's Gate. It is a blue and a black for a legendary creature, human elf rogue. And it says when Krydle deals combat damage to a player, that player loses 1 life and mills a card. You gain 1 life and scry 1. And then it says whenever you attack, you may pay 2 colorless mana. If you do, target creature cannot be blocked this turn. And it is a 1/3. So really, I like this card because I like rogues. And even though I don't think they're tier 1 right now, they're tier like 1.5 maybe. I think it will fit good in there, like 2 of them. And I think you will see this in Historic. And the ability of just being able to lose life, gain life, scry 1 is really good. And actually the ability to not be able to block is even better. So I think you're going to see this. And I personally like it a lot. What do you guys think?
Meh.
Hoshi.
Meh, I don't really have anything to say about this. I think maybe it's a one-off in a rogue deck, but yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Paula.
Yeah, it has text. It's 2 mana. It's uncommon. It does some things. It has a sync to make sure you get your attacks in. It's like pseudo ninjutsu, you know? Like, I like it. It fits in rogues. Super dig it. Dig the text for sure. All right. We are going to finish it off. And Hoshi, you got the next one here.
Yeah.
What's your last card?
The Blackstaff of Waterdeep, which is a 1 blue for a legendary artifact at rare. You may choose not to untap the Blackstaff of Waterdeep during your untap step. And then it has Animate Walking Statue. And it is 1 and a blue, tap. Another target non-token artifact you control becomes a 4/4 artifact creature for as long as the Blackstaff of Waterdeep remains tapped. Activate only as a sorcery. So I think this is a really cool animating ability for like these artifact jank decks that we're talking about. Once again, S'mores and Bacon had a really cool like reanimator or like animate artifact deck that he threw up in our chat the other day, and so this immediately I thought like fit into there, like having Iker Wellspring become a 4/4 and then having it die. You're like whatever, right? I just drew a card, or I have a 4/4 that drew me a card already. So I think it's a cool maybe 1 or 2 off of in a in a deck like that. You guys got any thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm going to touch on this real quick because I think this card's cool. I don't know if we're going to see it, but I want to see it. I think especially with the introduction of artifact lands in this, with that new artifact land, you can turn your artifact land into a 4/4 at worst case scenario. You know, say they destroy your board, they destroy all your artifacts, you have nothing, you're not drawing anything, you have that land, you can potentially make your land a 4/4, and I think that has to say something about this card is like it works in other ways, right? Like it's almost like that 3/4 or that 4/3 land, snow land, you know, like it has the potential to do something like that. It's the same amount of mana too, right? You cast it for 1, you pay 2, so it's 3 mana. I like it.
Cool.
2/2 swinging with a 4/4 Ornithopter. I'm sorry, turn 2 swinging with a 4/4 Ornithopter. That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. So, yeah.
Here's the question: do you run? How many do you run of these in your deck?
I'm thinking 2 at the most.
Like how much do you need this card?
Yeah. Well, there's other animate cards.
I mean, it depends on the build you're doing. I would do 3.
Okay.
I mean,
if
I
would
run
like
4.
artifact aggro. If you're doing like artifact aggro, I would want at least 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
if
if you're running that gnome guy, you could sacrifice it too if you had another one, right? And then pull out a 2/2 or something.
Yep.
So yeah. Could be fun.
White blue. I love it.
Could be fun. All right, let's get to that last
Dig
card.
it, dude.
Apollo.
All right, last one is the enchantment class. I chose Bard class. It's red and a green. And so
Yes.
it's ETB. It's legendary creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on them. Yes, Gruul loves it. Big stuff gets bigger. Super dig it. And then it's level 2 is red and a green. Legendary spells you cast cost red and a green less to cast. This effect reduces only the amount of colored mana you pay. You mean Klothys only costs 1 colorless?
Yeah.
Yes. So now I'm getting Klothys a turn earlier as well, and it sticks around, and it's hard to remove. May I say Gruul again? So the last one, level 3, 3 colorless red and a green. Whenever you cast a legendary spell, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. Oh, you mean I get pseudo card draw too? So when my hand is already on the board and my opponent is removing them, now I get to see the next 2 cards and be able to cast them. Yeah, this is fucking good. I want this in Gruul. It has to go in. It slots in for sure. This is like a for sure thing. It's just you got to figure out the numbers at that point. Hoshi, what do you think?
I really like this card. Because I was building a Gruul deck today and I wanted to put it in there, but the legendary thing really screwed me up. I didn't have enough time to do the research on what legendary cards I want to put in, but I think it's more of a Gruul mid-range is going to take advantage of this, because once again, it comes in and it does nothing when you actually cast it. So that's the downside. That's why I don't think it belongs in aggro, is because of that kind of like halt that you have of casting this thing. But I mean, hey, you have other stuff like Questing Beast and all those other things that could be amazing with this card. I just think it's going to be a little bit more of a mid-range deck, which is fine because there's amazing, strong, legendary Gruul cards like the dragons and there's a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and with this card you have the ability to start playing those, so you can be playing crazy strong stuff at a reduced cost in Gruul and then just beat someone to death really quickly later on. I just don't think that this is going to belong in like a super aggro type style Gruul deck. Drunken, what about you?
Yeah, I actually think everything you said is spot on. Yeah, I think this is exactly what I was talking about the card earlier. This is my favorite class card out of all of them. I love it. I've been, semi-building around it. I think there's enough legendaries in both red and green where this will matter. It makes a difference. Reducing the cost of buy one is worth it. Like I would play that, and then not only that, like. The first thing is you're adding +1/+1 counters to creatures. So I think it'll fit into exactly what you're saying. Green, red, X, like green, red, black, green, red, blue, and I like it a lot. I hope this card works.
Agreed. Yeah, Gruul monsters might be coming back. It's one of my favorite fucking archetypes of all time, and I would love it if that comes back. But that is going to do it for our main phase.
Yeah.
All right. Well, after main phase 1 is always followed by combats, and that is the Horseshit card game. So DrunkenDork, take it away. He's going to tell us how to play.
All right, everyone. This is the Horseshit card game. This is a game where I recently been opening up packs of cards for a while, and I pick out 3, but I name 4. And the thing is, one of the cards is fake. It's up to these 2 drunken idiots and Jacavio to figure out which one of those cards is fake. But, I think for the sake of just like making it a little easier for the viewer when we're streaming, I'm just going to start picking cards ahead of time. And like today, I picked the cards ahead of time, and they're going to be up on the screen. So what do you idiots, what are your scores right now? That's what I want to know. All right, so I'm going to go. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to name.
I got it up. Okay, I'm at 3. Drunken is at 1, and Apollo is at -4. So.
Oh, -4. Oh, Apollo, you are giving yourself more points, you cheater.
You cheater. Knew it.
All right, so first of all, before I name the cards, what are you guys betting? This week we're going to dive into the newest set, this D&D set, which I already forgot what the hell it's called, but we're going to dive into that. What are y'all betting?
Forgotten Realms, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going full on, man.
might as well at that point.
I'm in the hole.
Okay. Sure. I will do 3 as well. Yeah, let's go for it. And Drunken might just be winning after this today. So.
Right, 3 and 3.
3 and 3.
Okay.
Yeah. That's scary.
Mikey likey. All right. So here we go. All right. So the first card is going to be Goblin Javelineer. It is 1 red mana for a creature goblin warrior at common. It has haste. It says whenever Goblin Javelineer becomes blocked, deals 1 damage to target creature blocking it, and it is a 1/1. Then we have Dwarfhold Champion. It is 1 and a white for a creature dwarf warrior at common, and it says as long as Dwarfhold Champion is equipped, it gets +0/+2, and it is a 3/1. Then we have Pixie Guide. It is 1 and a blue for a creature fairy at common, as flying, and it says grant an adventure. If you would roll 1 or more dice, instead roll that many dice +1 and ignore the lowest roll. And it is a 1/3. And then finally we have Slumbering Serpent. It is 5 black for a creature dragon at uncommon, has flying, menace, and it says Shadow Breath. When Slumbering Serpent enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a non-dragon permanent, and it is a 4/4. So what do you two drunken dumbs got for me?
All right, who you got?
I'm going to start it off. Wait, no. I'm going to start off with Apollo. Apollo, what do you got for me, dude? You lost last week. I believe in you, dude.
We both
you
lost
can win
last
this week.
Yeah.
Jacavio, you got this. Don't read Jacavio's answer. Don't look it up because I know you two are cheaters. So what do you got for me?
I am not a fucking cheater. What?
He said I looked up. He said I'm fucked. So
I think it's that second card. But Slumbering Dragon does sound a little sus.
Okay,
Don't remember seeing that as one of the dragons.
Dwarfhold Champion or Slumbering Serpent? All right.
I'm going to go with Dwarfhold Champion. That's
Dwarfhold Champion. All right, Hoshi, what do you got for me?
Well then, I guess I'm going to go with Slumbering Serpent. Yeah.
Slumbering Serpent.
Yeah.
All right, dude. We got Slumbering Serpent and
Jacavio chose the
Dwarfhold Champion, and Jacavio chose the blue one. Jacavio, dude, you're wrong again. Dang it! I want you to win.
Yeah, that's a card. Javelineer is a card too.
Oh man.
Okay. But also, Apollo, you fucking idiot. You are wrong, which makes Hoshi right, and it makes me wrong too.
Yes.
Slumbering Serpent is correct. Hoshi's at 7 points. Apollo's at -7 points. Oh no, Hoshi's a 6. You had 3, now you have 3, so you're at 6.
Yeah.
Apollo's at -7, and I am at 1 still, just
You're
staying
still at
on the even keel of the point system. Y'all, good job. Jacavio, dude, get one next time. I believe in you.
I believe in you too. I thought you had it this time. Oh man.
What was the wrong one? The one that I initially picked, Slumbering Serpent.
Yeah,
She just slides on in with.
Yeah.
I call bullshit. I want screen monitoring. I want screen monitoring on Hoshi's. His eyes are rolling around, and he's like, I choose.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely
Slumbering
cheating.
Serpent.
Oh my god.
Like, I call
No.
BS, dude.
Dude, I've been
Bull's
studying.
definitely
I've
a
been
cheater.
studying these cards this week at work, so this one felt.
I was
pretty
too.
easy, yeah. Because I knew all 3 of these.
I called.
Well, I like equipment, so I knew it wasn't the dwarf one because I looked at that and was like, nah, it's not fitting in my equipment deck, you know.
Well, good job, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you.
Yeah, I think Hoshi is the reigning champion in this game. If we were keeping points from long ago, I think he would already be at a maximum number, whatever that is. But yeah, good game.
Thank you. All right.
No, I don't say good game. Bullshit. I call bullshit.
Come on, say
I call
it.
bullshit.
Say it.
I am fucking salty. I'm gonna have a fucking salty pizza with a side of salty sauce, dude.
That sounds gross.
I am grumps right now. I am grumps. All right, episode's over. Have a good one, everyone.
No.
I said it too. I fucking said it.
You did say it.
Yeah, you did.
know.
You really blew that
It's
one.
all right.
Man.
You can whip yourself after the show. So.
All right, main phase 2. Pioneers Masters is canceled. Yay. And that's it. All right.
I mean, we should touch on this article real quick. I know we're going long, but we should just touch on it real quick just because it is like very important and I don't want to be too far behind, right? Or no?
No, yeah. This is totally relevant to the historic format. So WotC has said they're going to put a pause on the Pioneer Masters. It's something that's been like promised to us for quite a while now and we've heard nothing. And they recently have said something. So what they said was historic experienced rapid growth and change over the last year, and it developed into a unique and compelling format. We are excited to have historic feel distinct, and we want to continue to build on that. Unfortunately, our schedule does not have room to focus on growing that unique identity for historic and fully supporting Pioneer. Some steps towards Pioneer will come as a part of Historic's growth, but we have paused work towards the Pioneer Master sets for the time being. We do not anticipate a Pioneer's Masters release in the next year, so that is 2022. We have a solid plan for those sets, but for now, we'll be focusing on expanding Historic in other ways. Really cool for us. Really sucks for people who love Pioneer. You know, like it's really shitty, but it is cool that, you know, WotC has kind of like told us what they're doing. They're going to focus on historic. Cool. I hope they do that because I have a lot of questions. Like, are they ever going to keep going with the anthology sets and all that stuff? So,
absolutely.
Yeah. You know, so what do you guys think in a nutshell? I mean, we only get a paragraph here, but this is more than what WotC like he usually does.
Yeah. I think they're gonna maybe keep doing the remastered sets, right? Of going back to Pioneer, but who knows? Like, right? It doesn't. This gives us nothing except for they're not doing that. So I absolutely think they're going to keep doing the historic anthologies because that's money making for them, and this is not. Maybe potentially they see maybe they're making more off of the anthologies, so maybe they want to pivot away from that and make it something different. But I still think they're going to start working. They're going to keep working backwards. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows what the fuck they're going to do? It's Wizards, and they give us shit articles like this, like, "Hey, we're not doing that thing. Get fucked, nerds." That's basically all that what this felt like. Drunken.
Yeah, so what I see here when I see this is I think, you know, what is their like thought process on this? Like, the saying is like it takes money to make money, but like they are definitely making money and they are not spending a lot of money. Like, what is their revenue? Like 200,000%, you know, like of what they're spending into Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have the resources to do this, but they definitely have the money behind Wizards, behind Magic, to put into something like this. And it is a little frustrating because now I think what's going to happen, and exactly like what Hoshi just said, is instead of coming out with an entire like Pioneer Master set, they're going to come out with them individually because they know they can make more money off of us that way. And it's just frustrating because where it could have been a curated set, now it's going to be just like one set, then another set, or like it's going to be this historic anthology bullshit, which is good. I like historic anthology. It's fun. It introduces cards. But when we're getting like 5 cards out of Pioneer and then 5 cards out of other sets, it just makes people spend more money and more wild cards, and it shakes up the format more often where people are spending more money and more wild cards, which is a bad thing for consumers. So I am bummed about this. And it's also sad because I was looking at just having another format. Like, I've heard other content creators say that, you know, too many formats is a bad thing. But I actually disagree with that. The more formats you have, the more accessibility you have, the better a product is my opinion on it. So I think overall this is disappointing, and I hope they eventually get their shit together, and it's never going to happen.
No.
Yeah. No, it would have been cool to see on Arena because on Moto and on Cardboard, I loved playing Modern and Legacy after I got in, you know, Standard was just always there, right? And then obviously Commander with you guys. But on Arena, they have a chance to do that. Historic, Pioneer. That would be fucking cool, man. Like, and you know, again, standards on the side because it's always there. So it'd be really cool to see that. But you know, time will tell once they get their shit together. I was super excited for Pioneer. All I want to know now is what are they doing when they're going backwards? Yeah. What are you giggling at? Hoshi is just giggling nonstop, dude.
I was just reading chat about how Jacavio hates Drunken, and I agree. I hate him too.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, Jacavio. I saved it nice and big for you, brother. I'm going to fucking pound this thing as discard, man. This thing is going. But yeah, so, I mean... It's sad. It's disheartening. I don't know what they're doing. All I want to know is what are they doing with these remastered sets? Because honestly, I don't really like them. I want the full fucking set, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that means if they're going to keep doing this like anthology and then remastered, that means Historic is definitely not going to go towards Pioneer, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I think that's the worst part about it, right? Is because they don't have a roadmap now for Historic, and they're just like, we're gonna fucking wing it, guys, and then you have to fucking sit there and take it in the ass. And like, sure, you know, some people enjoy that, but most people don't, and we don't want to fucking deal with that. We want a roadmap. Yeah. We want something solid, right? Yeah, we want to know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And yeah, it's very unfortunate. That was a good point, Apollo. Good point.
For once.
I don't make many, but so we go into our end step, and it's something that you guys have asked for. You guys have been really liking this segment, and that's like where we talk about our background, our history, how we eventually all came to be friends and play Magic together.
No.
So this week is going to be DrunkenDork's background. We left off with you in elementary school. Now I know like middle school and that kind of era was a lot of the same for us, but I mean, take it away. When was the like next time Magic became a thing for you?
So early, you know, the first time I talked about it, I talked about elementary school, but that kind of carried over all the way throughout high school. I may have played once or twice throughout. That's underwhelming. Like more than that, like played with like my brother or maybe a friend 10 times or so. But I really didn't get back into Magic until actually after high school, when we all hit Magic again. And that was in like 2001, you know, when we graduated high school. We're really dating ourselves here. Around the Onslaught set, and we all got back into Magic then. I remember that's when Fetchlands, I think, were introduced, and like they had these battle decks and these intro decks that you could get, and they had these theme decks, which I fucking loved, where they had like a zombie deck, a goblin deck, where you could just go and buy the decks, and like they didn't have that before when we first played. It was like you just bought packs or bought like a starter deck, which came with all 5 colors. That's what the starter deck was. Yeah. So I remember I saw the zombie deck, I was like, oh my god, and like I basically nutted my pants at that point, and then dropped, $20 or whatever the cost of a zombie deck was. But then I also bought the elf deck. I always really liked elves, and the goblin deck as well, and a bunch of packs. And I remember us three specifically, with one of our friends that we used to play with, would get together like almost daily, and we would play Magic, and it was wild. I want you guys to talk about this too, and I know you will. Yeah. But I remember I'm going to talk about one part specifically. This was like when we were 18. We'd go to my mom's house, play on her kitchen table, and it would be like we play 2 versus 2, like two-headed dragon, or two-headed giant, I mean, and like we were absolutely playing wrong. We weren't playing the game right. But I remember Hoshi and our other friend, who I'm not going to name, they would get in the craziest yelling matches. This is when we're 18, by the way. Oh, yeah. Where my mom would come down and be like, "You guys, this is a fucking card game. Chill the fuck out." And it was like, God, this isn't a fucking card game. This is my life, ma'am.
He doesn't understand how it works. It's not how it works.
Yeah. Yeah, and the
You guys
crazy
would
thing
get
is,
like passive aggressive.
yeah, the crazy thing is, like 2001, the internet was still pretty young at that point, so like it wasn't as easy as just going online and checking. You know, like we barely had internet back then, and so like if we didn't know something, we fucking made that shit up, and like we stuck to our goddamn guns. We're like, no, you fucking idiot, it works like this. I know because. I know. That's why.
I read the card. I'm a judge. I am a judge now. We're all judges. I'm a level 4 judge. You're only a level 3, you idiot. You
yeah. And
for a point of reference, real quick, chat and everyone out there, when we say the internet was young, 56K modems just came out. Like they were brand spanking new.
No, they had DSL.
In early 2000s?
Yeah.
2001, the DSL had just come out, but it was expensive. Nobody had it at that time. I didn't have it.
I just got 56K, so I just thought like, oh, this must be the new thing. So that's what I had back then.
Oh man. We are aging ourselves.
Go on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was really fun. Those were super fun sets, and like we were using our older cards, and like we really all had mishmashes of decks, and that was really, I think, where like I think I had the best grasp of Magic at that point. That's the first time I had a good grasp of Magic, where I would like build a deck cohesively that had synergy. And it worked really well, rather than just like being a stupid Timmy player and like being like, oh, that's a big fucking cool ass green creature, you know? Yeah. I was actually making things that worked, and it was really enjoyable. And it's sad because that goddamn friend of ours back then, I'm pretty sure he has majority of my fucking cards, because I pretty much have no cards from that era, and I didn't sell any cards. They're all somewhere. They're not with me. I'm pretty sure they're with him, because he was always like looking through them and being like, "Oh man, can I use this?" You know?
Yeah. I don't doubt it.
Yeah. We bought a lot of packs from that one place, like Magic 8 Ball or whatever, and so
it still exists.
Oh, that's cool.
Really?
Yeah, it still exists.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember we bought a lot of packs from there. So.
Yeah.
I feel like I got tricked into giving away my fetch lands too. Like, you don't want these, they're dumb. They make you lose a life. You're probably right. It doesn't even tap for mana.
Yeah, you are dumb.
Yeah, I mean, this is 18. This is 18-year-old Apollo, and he's about 10 years back in like I don't know, just brain power. So, you know, at this point, he's
20 years.
What? How old are you?
Dude.
Yo, 20 years. Yeah, so
20 years, dude.
No, I'm saying you're 10 years back in brain power. So at 18, you were like an 8-year-old, really.
Oh,
yeah. You were really malleable, you know. Like they'd be like, "Oh, dude, that's not how it works." It'd be like, "Oh, that's not how it works." You know, like 1 + 1 is 5, Apollo,
No.
and you're like, "Oh yeah. You're right.
I remember like fucking Hoshi and thou that should not be named. I remember they would ask us all the time, huh, that's what this card means, doesn't it? And it's like, I don't know, dude. I think it's like interpreted this way. No, you're an idiot. You're a fucking moron.
Yeah.
He's like,
I don't know, man. Apparently you see the card as most beneficial to you, so.
Yeah. I think that could be a whole segment of that play group time of our life, I feel like, right?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Fun, dude. All right, that is the next chapter. Next week we'll touch into high school before I moved back to South Bay and played with these guys. I played a little bit in Massachusetts as well.
Nice.
And then after our end step is our cleanup, and then finally our discard.
Cleanup.
You heard the lady. So. And cleanup is just social media promo. You're going to see everything bouncing around right now. If you are listening to us on wherever you get your podcasts, in the descriptions below, you'll find all relative links. You know, our Discord. If you want to see us on YouTube, click that subscribe and bell notification. Give it a thumbs up if you really dig it. It really helps out the channel. People on Discord, stay tuned. We're going to be talking to you guys after the show. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. You know, we hope you like it. And again, you can take us on the road. So if that's something you want to do, you can literally take us everywhere. So discard, finish whatever we've been drinking. Let me top it off, because you know what, Chikavi, this is for you, brother.
Yeah,
this is for you.
Cheers. Yeah, and yeah.
Cheers, everyone.
We do this on stream, so if you guys want to, hang out weekly with us and watch this too, it's fun. All right. Well,
generally every Thursday.
Yeah.
Bottoms up.
All right. Cheers, boys.
Bottoms up,
everybody.
Discard phase. Drink 'em up, boys.
Cheers, bud.
Oh god. Woo! Oh god. Ugh, Jesus.